talking about the situation with Sarah Calle as Supergirl. Lord Slug here says, already saw a couple vids from the Fandom Menace losers hating on it. Of course you did. Of course you did. Jess here saying, make sure Streamlabs is working. It should be working. I will log into Streamlabs to see what the hell is going on with that. I do not know why there's problems. I'm honestly, given how much that 30% that YouTube takes, that is just an insane amount, and it's painful. It's very painful. Like last night, for example, you guys gave about $87 for the 3 hours, which is great. Thank you. And I think my take home was like $57 because YouTube takes their 30%. So that is insane about how this whole thing, really kind of, it's terrible shit. Anyway, I want to make sure, so it's up right now. I believe that it's streamlabs.com/$3 theater /tip, or just the $3 theater. I don't want to focus on it too much because that's like, I feel like it's too much shilling, and I'm not trying to shill, not just yet. Anyway, H-Bart's here, $2 man, saying here, Mr. Last 2 streams, too good to be back. Yes, H-Bart's, I was wondering where you were, not because you're like the #1 producer of my channel. No, not that at all, actually. I appreciate your insight, and I appreciate you. And so you start to notice when certain people aren't here for whatever reason. So I'm glad that you're back. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope they didn't work you too hard at your job. And we can go from there. All right. Will we be seeing Enosh in a tub? If he calls in, I have no idea. I didn't drop the link in our DM group. So there is that. I'm not too sure. Jack here says the Supergirl actress is hot. I don't know, Jack. I thought you dipped out last night. You were too uncomfortable with Enosh in the hot tub. But anyway, it's all good. All right. Let's see. Another one from H Barts here. $5. Thank you so much, man. Says they God damn it. God damn it, Jack. Matt only likes the tips. Oh, that caught me by surprise, buddy. That caught me by surprise. Good job. Anyway, H-Barts here saying they want to move away from Zack, but make Supergirl suit like the Cavill suit. And that is, look, that is the thing with this, right? Warner Brothers is going to like go a different direction, but it's like we looked at yesterday, okay? I have the image here, right? So, yesterday, this particular image popped out from the behind the scenes stuff. So it showed Central City Children's Fund showing a Wonder Woman 2017 promotional image on the side of the bust, indicating that Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman, is going to be featured in this particular movie, at least through a cameo. Now, we don't know which Earth this is. I don't think it's going to be, Earth, whatever this one is, Earth 1, I think, or I don't know, Earth 3. Does anyone here know what Earth it is? Because I forget. But we know that this is there. So a lot of people out there are like, starting to like, because, they're wondering, okay, how much is this connected? Because we saw this pop up the other day, and that gave us a look at the 3 icons that we're going to be seeing in this, and how people were comparing the Supergirl image to that of Henry Cavill's Superman suit. And they are very similar. Like the material is the same, but there's a slight different design on the S. And I've seen people absolutely losing their mind on that. It's very weird to see, but that of course is unfortunately where we find ourselves on that. So then we also got like a shot like this yesterday, right, where we get a blurry shot from her in the distance, or a shot like this where it's a very far off shot, but we get an idea of what the suit looks like. Here is a bit more of a close-up shot that was going around yesterday as well. And the reason why this is important is because these were blowing the hell up, right? Including like this guy right here, who happened to get a picture of him with Ezra Miller as well as with Michael Keaton. And so this is in London. So we know, obviously we know what's happening. What's going on in this movie is no secret. What's going on in this movie is absolutely open for pretty much everyone to kind of discuss and talk about. They want you to talk about the making of this movie because it puts it in a more positive light. Because the thing is, yeah, while some Fandom Menace people might be complaining about the look of the suit, the vast majority of Supergirl fans, it was trending all day. I think it's even trending right now. They're interested to see what's going to be happening. This is something that's new to them. And especially when you get updated photos that were released like this. Now, I want you guys to think about it like this, okay? This is what I feel is one of Warner Brothers' tactics. Because you see here in the suit, which the abs are very weird to me. I think it's just the harness, right? I think it looks like it's a very weird harness. She looks relatively uncomfortable with it like that. And they'll probably smooth out the abs for the movie. But we do see here that is very much modeled after this version of the character, which is was it Lori, whatever, I forget her name. I saw it. I was trying to get it before going live, but it's Superman and like Lois Lane's daughter, like Lori Lane, right? That's who it is, Lori Lane. Anyway, so we know that's kind of what they're going for here. And the reason why they showed us this, by the way, is they showed us this because of these images that had come out the day before. So blurry in the distance, can't quite see much, right? We're not too sure. Then they go ahead and they drop this today, so you can see it. So yesterday you saw the shitty version. Today you're seeing the cool version, at least the very clear, high definition, high resolution photos that are magically coming in from set that they put out there, so you know what it looks like. Now, this happened before, all the way back in 2015 at Comic-Con, when David Ayer showed off the first teaser trailer for Suicide Squad, and it was pirated. Now, I was in the room when they showed off that trailer, but it was pirated, and it was put up online, and the quality was terrible. And so Warner Brothers, in response to not only people wanting to see the Suicide Squad trailer in high definition, but to not want people to get the wrong impression about the movie because of the low quality, they did put out the full high definition trailer, and that actually kicked off Warner Brothers and the way that they do business for Comic-Con now, which is they drop the trailer roughly at the same time it's going live in Hall H. They'll go like, world premiere. No one else has seen this trailer. No one else knows anything about this movie. You, the fan, you're first. Get ready, folks. Ready your underwear, because you're going to need a new pair after this trailer going live right now. And then they show the trailer. So they hit play on the trailer in Comic-Con. And then, like, either as soon as a trailer is done showing to us, so they fulfill their obligation of being the first people to see it, then they publish it live on YouTube, and the rest of the world gets to see it without having to slog through the shit that is getting to Hall H. I know, hashtag humblebrag, hashtag first world problems, but I'm still a nerd, and I'm still going to bitch about stuff because that's just kind of what I do. Now, Shiftyism here says, those weird effing abs. Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird, right? Now Ryan here says, I actively tried to prevent myself from looking at spoilers. A few hints every now and then, that's fine, but I try my best. What I mean by that is, like, you still, at the end of the day, you want to know what's going to happen. And studies have proven the reason why trailers show us as much as they do is absolutely because we end up because we want to know. It's a weird thing. I'm not a big fan of it. Now, Rational Skeptic here, $2. Thank you, Rational Skeptic, says, is Sasha from Cavill's Krypton? We don't know. We have absolutely no idea what exactly things are. Now, so I'm hoping we're going to get more info. Now, Min here does make a good point. Says, Matt not knowing what Earth it is the reason why the DC multiverse thing won't work. And he's not wrong. I'll be fair. He's not wrong. So let me explain why he's not wrong. So the DC multiverse, in essence, I feel cinematically simply won't work because there's too many moving parts. It's not a linear story. People like to be told things linearly, right? We like to follow a story from beginning to middle to end. When you go beginning, middle, end, but it branches off into, like, the crazy zany aspects of the multiverse, if it's not pre-planned well enough, then it's not going to be very good. That's just the whole, that is storytelling 101. Warner Brothers is coming at this from a business-based perspective rather than a story-based perspective at the moment. That could change. Marvel, in their exposition of the multiverse, at least in Loki, is very much coming at it from a story perspective first. And the story makes sense because it's presented to you in a way that is easily digestible. So unless they make, I'm hoping that they handle time travel or unit multiverse jumping, whatever else that they're going to do. I hope they handle it a certain way. But I still think that the DC multiverse is just simply not going to work. H-Bart's here with another $5. Thank you, sir. Says, what happened with Enosh in a tub? Also, Supergirl is Latino. I'm Latino. I like. So Enosh, so real quick last night, Enosh joined the stream from an inflatable hot tub on his back deck. And he hung out for a while in a hot tub, which is great. I have no problem with that. So Enosh was streaming from a hot tub. It was funny. Also, hey, I Green, you Green, what's going on? I hope everything is good in Barcelona. Would love to visit Spain one day, man. Would love to get over there. Let's see here. Charbo's acting like his long lost brother, DSP begging for tips. No. I'm not begging for tips. I'm just simply pointing out that YouTube takes 30% and that sucks, but it's still better than other things. Tip, don't tip. It's all good. I appreciate it either way. Let's see here. Good night, Matt, and protect your nuts. Them straight, man. You have to. So, okay. According to Warner Brothers, DC, EU is Earth 1, Battinson is Earth 2. And then Arrowverse is Earth Prime. That is stupid. Snyderverse should be Earth 1 or Earth Prime. And obviously the Arrowverse needs to be Earth Trash Can. I'm just gonna say it anyway. I'm being joined now by my buddy RJ. What's up, RJ?
What's up, man? I was gonna say, do you really think Warner Brothers purposely let those photos come out?
Yes.
They're not that smart, Matt. They are.
Yes,
not
they
that
are.
Smart.
Yes, they are that smart. Yes, they are that smart. Like, here's the thing, man. Long distance photography, clearly shot from an iPhone with like 800 times zoom, that looks like it was shot through a potato that was wrapped in a used condom. And it looks terrible, and it doesn't give the best first impression. And since they want the first impression, like they did with this showing off the logo the other day, they obviously want there to be a solid first impression. When there's not, and it's something that looks like this, which looks like the old movies I used to bootleg off the internet back in like 20 years ago, it's not going to leave you with the best first impression. So what do? Oh, they drop these photos, which are, by the way, shot from the set photographer or someone, and it's definitely shot through a DSLR, and it's definitely shot on set. So they obviously are wanting to make sure that people are aware of this. And not only that, RJ, I didn't even get to what I feel is the good part. Mm-hmm. All right. Because some other photos came out. Some other photos popped up today. All right. We got to see, Barry Allen with, looking terrible in a suit and tie. He
looks very, like, the suit makes him look way bigger. I don't know if you noticed that. It's like,
the idea is that the suit is meant to be ill-fitting. So something is clearly happening where he's having to address reporters. There's Iris West next to him. Now, is she there as a friend? Is she there as an acquaintance? Is she there as a girlfriend? We don't know. But because she's not holding a phone or a recorder in order to make it out to be, because she's a journalist, we don't quite know what she's there doing just yet. But we get to see this shot of him and with Chrissy Clemens. So that does, again, show you that this is set in Snyderverse, right? These are the characters that were introduced in the Snyder Cut, which is so funny because they still do not want to acknowledge its existence. But then we got these photos. So we get to see a better shot of Barry, with the suit looking much better, right? And then it looks like he is talking to Bruce Wayne. And there's Michael Keaton with a wig, because that is a wig, as really old Bruce Wayne, as like nearly 70-year-old Bruce Wayne. So
yeah. He looks great though. For a 70-year-old man, he looks great.
Oh no, he looks fantastic, and that's actually probably what I'm most excited to see, because again, this shot right here, we can see that his hair is a lot shorter, of him on the street, and then seeing him here, he's got the wig on. So again, but it's a good looking haircut. It looks, like a billionaire playboy crime fighter. That's not Robert Downey Jr. And so, I mean, that of course is, they're showing off these images today. These are taken from a cell phone. But they're close enough to be, from people who are on set. So this is something that was absolutely put out by the production team. Now, whether it is Warner Brothers or Muschietti or Barbara Muschietti that wanted to put this stuff out there, they're doing this in order to get people on board with how it looks.
It's definitely not the Muschietis though, because Barbara on Instagram, I believe, posted something on one of her Instagram stories saying, "Guys, please do not share photos of the Supergirl costume. We're working really hard. Please don't leak this out on the internet. Just wait until the official picture comes out. It's going to blow your mind."
Yeah, well, no, here's the thing. Well, that's the thing. They're never going to tell you though. They're never going to tell you the truth on that, right? They're never going to come out and say that they did it. It's kind of like, hey, who leaked the Deadpool footage back in 2014?
They'll never say, but I guarantee you it was Ryan Reynolds.
They'll never say. They'll never say, because guess which server it came from. Blur Studios, that's owned by Tim Miller, who did he directed the movie and did the visual effects for the demo. So yeah, clearly, we know that it's
that
Ryan
was
Reynolds.
leaked on purpose to get the movie made.
Well, that was leaked on purpose to drum up interest, which it absolutely did. And the fact that it came out and like it took a couple days to get going, because at first like it didn't spread that far. I saw it. I got home from the midnight showing of Guardians of the Galaxy in August of 2014. And I get home and I'm working on my review of it. And then my friend DMs me and he's like, "Dude, did you see this thing?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Watch it." So I watched that Deadpool trailer. I loved it. I laughed my ass off. I watched it 5 times in a row. Then you know what I did? I jumped in my car and I drove down to the drive-in. And this was like 2:30 in the morning. They were still there. And I went down there just to show my coworkers fucking the Deadpool trailer. I could have showed them that the next night. But I was so excited by the Deadpool thing that I went down there at 2:30 in the morning to show them this like minute thing that was bootlegged out there. But again, that was put out as in an attempt to push and sway public opinion to force Fox to do something, which it did. And when David Ayer put out this image of the Joker back in the in the summer of 2015, this is very much what people were like. They didn't like it at first. In fact, I saw there were so many videos that were attacking this Joker. I was actually one of the only ones that said I liked it because I thought that it was different and it looked interesting. And as a result of all of that, it took people a year to finally kind of come around to, Jared Leto as the Joker, and that it wasn't as bad as people thought that it was. And then here it is now, fucking 5 years past that when the movie came out, and people are clamoring for more Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah, I'll be honest though, I never liked Jared Leto's Joker until the Snyder Cut. I was never on board until that scene. That's what took it for me, because I didn't like Suicide Squad at all. I did not like that movie or the way Joker was handled in that movie whatsoever.
I think you are just mistaken. I think that's all. I think you are just having. I think you are having problems.
No, it's okay. I'm wrong.
Yeah, I will. Well, I mean, all opinions are welcome. I'm still going to mock you a little bit though. But no, the thing is, like, I like the Joker. I enjoyed Suicide Squad immensely. I really want to see the Ayer cut. I want to see all that stuff. But still, my point ultimately is these photos are put out there sometimes to drum up interest. The set photos posted yesterday were probably not put out there to drum up interest, but today, to counter the narrative, to counter the negativity that was maybe coming around from some of those images, because it was blurry, because it was far away, because it looked like it was shot through a potato. They wanted to make sure that you got a good look at her in that position, wearing everything to get used to the character. And because that's something that, again, ultimately they don't do very often, and they need to.
No, definitely. I mean, going back to Suicide Squad, when those set photos came out, I remember of Harley and Deadshot and Joker, it blew up the internet. People are talking about it constantly. Like, it was like trending almost every single night. A new batch of photos would come out. Yeah. And that got the hype for that movie really rolling, and people actually very interested and excited.
Over $700 million, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it actually did. It did not as well as Wonder Woman 2017, but it was nipping at its heels. I mean, it came out a year before, and it came out following BVS, following the theatrical dumpster fire that was BVS.
Yeah, and people were wondering, like, is this movie going to be a hit or not? And it ended up making a lot of money for them. So,
you know why? The female demographic.
Yeah, definitely. No,
I mean,
I agree.
You know, I mean, Harley Quinn was a big factor in that. And then I don't know why it took them forever to get over to Birds of Prey, and then Birds of Prey was a mess. It was just a mess of a film.
Do you think if it would have came out like any other time, like instead of 2020, like a month before the pandemic, it would have done better, or do you think it like still would have bombed?
I mean, like, well, for one, they couldn't predict the pandemic, so that was definitely something that I think maybe hindered it a little bit. But it still did 400 million worldwide, which isn't terrible, by the way. And it still had its, its release limited. I watched it, I think, as soon as it came out on VOD, I watched it, and I wasn't, thrilled with it. I'm actually glad I didn't pay money to go and see it. But then
I
again, I'm
watched it
also
in
wondering,
theaters. Yeah.
well, then I'm wondering also if I would have gone and seen it in theaters, if I would have had a difference of opinion because I paid money to go and see it. Because once you are financially vested into something, your like of it kind of goes up. You allow yourself to kind of like not be as critical because you're like, well, I paid for it, so I've already given something. I don't want to feel like I lost out. And so we do that kind of often, I think, which is why a lot of these people that I think bitch about movies all the time never actually watch what they bitch about. I really don't think so. I really don't think a lot of them watch a lot of this stuff. I think they just look at what other people are saying and they mimic that. And because the outrage is there, and I'm air quoting that, it pretty much protects them from anyone ever doing any real fact checking. And I'll kind of tie back in to the conversation we were having last night about two particular individuals, one from a planet, one from a corner. And they say things about like properties, and then they get schooled on those properties because they clearly don't know what they're talking about, And like I try to read up on what's going on. There are clearly things I don't get. I make mistakes all the time, and if I feel like I'm in the wrong, I'll ask the audience, "Am I right or am I wrong?" And generally, you guys are great, and you guys come back and you toss in the correct answer, so I feel less stupid because I've learned,
Right.
So I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like, I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of Birds of Prey. Anyway.